So right now we're on our road trip to Twin Oaks Community, which is an intentional living community. Twin Oaks is a communal living group in rural central Virginia, made up of around 85 adult members and 15 children. Established in 1967, we are self-supporting, self-governing, and partly self-sufficient. No one has to work outside the community.
No one person is essential, and we don't have any central religion or secular. People can have their religion. It's not like we require that people don't, but there's no. We do have central beliefs. Nonviolence is a very big one, probably the thing that we're most focused on. More generally, cooperation, income sharing is a big part of what makes this place what it is. Of groups out there that don't do income sharing to the degree that we do, we almost entirely income share. That's a big one. Many people will not live here because of that. People are attached to their income. We share in common not only our income, but all of the buildings, the tools, everything. It's all shared. Try to be environmental as much as we can. Of course, do lots of recycling. We try to take all of that into account. We are what we call egalitarian. Try to treat everybody equally as much as one can. Of course, everybody's different, so that's a difficult thing to do, but we try as best we can to treat everybody equally. We have rules. We have 2 rule books that thick, because every time we come into a situation that isn't covered, then we come up with a new rule, or policy, or norm, or whatever you want to call it. Remain stable. You can, of course, change those, but we have to have agreement to change them. People who originally started Twin Oaks were inspired by a book called Walden 2. It was written by B.F. Skinner, who was a behavioralist. They were inspired by when he had this fictional community that he wrote about, and they said, "Oh, wow, maybe we can make that a reality." And so that was kind of the original inspiration. The behavioralist slant on it got dropped a long time ago. The idea of a labor credit system, for instance, survived quite nicely. People get labor credits, that is to say, you're expected to do 42 hours a week, on average. You can do more some weeks and less other weeks. You maintain it like a balance, like you would maintain a money balance, right? And so you can do that work in any kind of work that the community has deemed what we call labor credit. The planner-manager system survived quite nicely. So the managers are the more straightforward thing. So you have, cows to be milked and somebody is dairy manager. You have a warehouse to manage and somebody is warehouse manager. And you have, so I just became safety manager, right? So now I have to pay attention to, are there fire extinguishers around, and, are the path. Just spent time, marking our eastern boundaries so that hunters wouldn't walk in too close, and, because people were nervous about that. Theoretically, there's a next level up from managerships, which is what we call a council. That is a group of usually related work areas, and probably the most important thing they do is to appoint managers. When some manager wants to stop doing the job, then who else comes in? Somebody has to make that decision. It's the council. But they do some other things. The highest level of government is what we call the planners. They meet something like twice a week. This is someplace between 3 and 5 people who make community-wide decisions.